ఆపరేషన్ ఎలాగ మీరు చేశారండి? బాలరాజు అండ్ గవర్నమెంట్ అఫీషియల్ ఆపరేషన్ మీరు ఏ విధంగా టేకప్ చేశారు?
See, a lot of people feel that it is Telangana. Those Adilabad, Warangal, Nizamabad and Karimnagar were, mostly affected. But I can tell you, having worked in Telangana as well as in Rayalaseema and as well as in Andhra area, that the toughest terrain, from the perspective of terrain I am talking, the toughest terrain is in the forest of Vizag Rural, East Godavari, Srikakulam, Vijayanagar and the contiguous area of Orissa. Because you have large number of, I would say, hills are there, very thick forest is there, altitude is high, and that makes it very difficult. Unlike Telangana, where you have relatively plain land. So though you have forest cover in Telangana, but by and large the terrain is plain. Whereas in those areas you have lot of hills and valleys, which makes movement of police forces very difficult and to track down the Naxalites. And the area, the coverage is also very huge, and they have the advantage of crossing over to Orissa in case the heat increases. So therefore we had to have a multidisciplinary strategy, and in fact I would say I was the first SP in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh to start the system of dance drama troupes. So what I had done, we had taken a few, and it was a conscious decision. We had taken some very smart boys, SCs and STs who were part of our police force and who were very talented, and we had given them orientation in skits, in songs and small dances and drama things. And we used to send this team in interior parts of the Naxal areas. And the idea was that they will create awareness, not just confined to the anti-Naxal thing or the deleterious effect of Naxal things on the people, but also on several social issues. So this group of young boys and girls who were from these SCs and STs and part of the police department, who had a special talent for dance and drama and singing, we gave them a lot of issues like the evils of drinking, then caste system, and then also how to make best use of the government schemes, how to approach the government departments, plus child marriage. Along with that, in a very subtle way, certain things on how youngsters will get their careers and lives spoiled by joining the Naxal movement, and how to avoid falling to the temptation of helping them, and then you get branded as militant sympathizers, and then there is a no-go because your police case is registered against you, and then it impacts your livelihood in future. You cannot apply for a police job. So in a very subtle way, it was a plan towards creating awareness about different government schemes, about apprising them of the evils, social evils, and how to handle them, how to improve their awareness level, to give them certain consciousness, and also to see that the Naxal thing is contained. That was one thing which I started, and I was the first SP. Later on it became a statewide thing. SIB itself, made dance drama troupes which were going all over the state. That was one thing. Second thing, we had a system of tribal home guards under the ITDA. So we had 100 tribal home guards given to us by ITDA, which we also used to do the regular home guard duties. Now, myself being a management graduate, we put a lot of focus on how things are phrased, paraphrased, and how they are branded. So instead of calling them home guards, and home guard tends to give it has connotation of being something affiliated to a police, to security forces. We said no, myself and the ITDA project director sat together, and we said we will call them social workers. And we'll broaden the spectrum of their duties. So we said we will call them social workers, and they will go to the villages and provide us feedback about these living conditions. What are the problems being faced by the villagers in interior places, in the tribal areas, in the ITD areas. and that was a big success. So these 100 people overnight, instead of becoming home guards and being confined in terms of their vision and perspective and mandate to just doing some routine policing duty and only trying to find out about some stupid criminal or some fellow who is absconding or this, his mandate was increased. So he will go to the village, find out about the availability of water, about the presence of school teacher, whether the school teachers are coming or not, if at all they are coming, what is the standard of teaching, how many students are coming to the school, what is the quality of road network, and primary health center, doctors are coming or not, because these are the issues in tribal areas, and the feedback that was coming from them was tremendous. The district collector, many other government functionaries came to know that at many places doctors were not coming, everything was only farji. False records, forged records were there, and that enables these social workers to gain certain amount of acceptance amongst the public over there, and the services of the delivery of services also improved, because a very objective feedback was coming to the district collector and his machinery at the head office, at the headquarter level. It became a very independent source of feedback, which improved delivery of services. So therefore the poor people were and the tribals were happy, relatively happier. Another one thing which I did is that I wrote to the chiefs of all paramilitary forces, or what are now called Central Armed Police Forces, like BSF, ITBP, CISF, requesting them to send their recruitment teams to the tribal areas and do recruitment. Because in all these forces there is a quota fixed for SCs and STs, which mostly goes unfulfilled. So I invited them, I said, you come send your recruitment teams and I will ensure that you get the requisite talent. And what we were doing along with ITDA, we would select from the villages certain youngsters who are relatively better, give them about 45 days, some 6 weeks, 7 weeks of good training. So whatever tests are prescribed at that time were prescribed for recruitment in terms of physical fitness, stamina, strength, 100 meters, 5-kilometer running, broad jump, high jump, etc. We started giving training to hand-picked people along with ITDA. And ITDA the PO, Mr. Sumesh Kumar, who is now the principal secretary for commercial taxes, a very fine, very dedicated officer. He was extremely helpful. And he provided a very good diet plan and good nutritional food to these youngsters, due to which I am very happy to say that almost 60-70 tribals got selected for CISF and other paramilitary.
Okay.
So we got a situation where on an average, almost every village or 2-3 villages had one young man who was representing the government in the form of being a soldier in a Central Armed Police Force. So that was another thing. Then I can tell you that Mrs. Sujata Rao, who has now retired as Secretary to the Government of India, she was heading the health and medical services, and I requested her for some budget, and she was very generous. She gave us a substantial amount of money, with which we used to purchase generic medicine, simple things like iodine tablets, iron tablets, folic acid tablets, because in these villages a large number of women and even men, lack of awareness and not having this iodized salt, they used to have this goiter problem, very common in agency area, this goiter problem. Then during pregnancies, women will not have sufficient iron supplement or folic acid supplement, and they will have abortions and all that. So my sub-inspectors will be visiting these villages with these very elementary nutritional supplements in terms of iron tablets, iodine tablets, folic acid tablets, a few things against prevention for malaria. So they were not costing the government much, and these sub-inspectors of police and inspectors will get greater acceptance कि गाँव में जाके they go around and they distribute them free of cost. So these were some of the measures which I took as SP Vizag ruler. Simultaneously, of course, we had trained commando teams, we had specialized teams to take on Naxalites. We were very much focused on protecting our police stations. We used to conduct what was called PPD, post protection drills, so that in case there is an attack on a police station, our men are sufficiently sensitized and they are well trained to take on the Naxalites, because those were the years when attacks on police stations had become relatively frequent.
For more videos, subscribe to iDream.
And loads of fun entertainment and content, do watch iDreams.
Do subscribe iDream Media.
దయచేసి iDreams మీరు సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయాల్సిందిగా నేను కోరుతున్నాను.
I am Dr. Nayak, DT Nayak. For more videos, please subscribe to iDream.
Please subscribe iDream News.
Please subscribe iDream.
Please subscribe iDreams.
మీరు చూస్తున్నారు iDream న్యూస్.